evening. Welcome to Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. Watch the news you can trust, events that recognize our heritage and celebrate our South Asian community. I'm Nadika Thuria, coming to you from Rai TV Gold Studio in New Jersey. In the news this evening, an Indian-American family survives plunging off a cliff in a Tesla. Elon Musk reacts. Cloud, a big game changer, says Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella. Hedge fund debuts with a $1.8 billion in biggest launch led by a woman. India reports its first case of Omicron's XBB.1.5 case in Gujarat. Watch the story of the resilience and hardships in seeking justice for the same in trial by fire. Also watch the trailer of Lakkad Bagga, where an animal lover vigilante versus animal abuser kingpin. Stay with us on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community for news in detail right after this short break. An Indian-American family in California survived plunging off a 250-foot cliff in their Tesla. Rescuing Dharmesh Patel and his family after the crash was a dangerous operation that involved firefighters rappelling down the cliff. The two adults suffered non-life-threatening serious injuries, and the two children, ages 4 and 7, were unharmed. Media reports suggested that the Tesla Model Y carrying the family had crashed along Devil's Slide, a steep and rocky area, on Monday morning. The car flipped a few times before landing on its wheels. Witnesses called 911 at around 10:50 a.m. on Monday morning. Patel and his wife had to be airlifted to the hospital. Tesla Model Y has a 5-star safety rating from the European New Car Assessment Program, Euro NCAP. Tesla CEO Elon Musk responded to news reports about the Patel family's miraculous escape, calling it good news.
Yours, you can offset to the back. Okay, power control, you're good. Offset. You're offset, yeah. Keep backing up, main and tail are clear. Okay, come on. Don't look back anymore. 50 out. 40 out. 10 out. Come up to the bottom skid. Pull cable. Keep sliding left. Good, keep it left. Good. 3, 2, he's at 20 feet. Keep him left, 1, touching the ground, right? Now, ground.
Microsoft Chairman and CEO Satya Nadella attended Microsoft Future Ready Leadership Summit in Mumbai on January 3rd. While addressing the summit, Satya Nadella termed the cloud a big game changer. Let's watch the video.
The reality is, it's been a pretty big game change, a range of tasks. It's going to be probably a golden age. Is India lead when it comes to digital public goods? When I think about our mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. That idea of taking that most malleable resource that we have in terms of digital technology and relating it to the challenges of people and organizations everywhere is what we are grounded on. In fact, I would say, putting more of an emphasis, especially in a time like this, on what does achieve more mean? And how do we achieve more with less? If you're going to make the energy transition, by definition, if you want to have economic growth going forward, you have to have an economic growth paradigm that doesn't consume energy at the rate at which we are consuming. And that's sort of going to be, I think, one of the key things and a key imperative in the context of India and India's growth even. So to me, what I wanted to spend a few minutes, given the context of the overall conversation this morning, is the imperatives that I see that I think can be helpful as we navigate together this transition and drive that economic growth, that achievement, while being able to do everything that we want to do with a lot less of resources. The first one, I think, is the cloud. I mean, the reality is, it's been a pretty big game changer. I mean, when I look back, I participated in the PC revolution, the client-server revolution, and the cloud. Those would be the three major things, at least in my professional career of the 30 years. And cloud still, you would say, is in the early to intermediate innings, because the first thing, the data point which is still stunning to me is how much more efficient the cloud is, right? The cloud-native applications have really not yet begun. The fundamental point is that by 2025, you're going to have most of the applications anybody builds really at that efficient frontier of cloud native, right? It's 10x, 100x better even in some cases. And we see tremendous momentum today when it comes to cloud adoption. In fact, when I think about Microsoft, that's been the big, when in the client-server era, we sold a few servers in India. But in the cloud era, it's a completely different ballgame, right? When I look at every business and the cloud consumption, it's tremendous to see. We see Adani choosing Azure for its expansion, HFDC using it, in fact, to consolidate all of the data platforms. And, Yes Bank built their super app. So tremendous adoption of cloud. And in fact, the more and more I talk to my partners and customers here, I get excited about sort of even the unique things that are happening in India using the cloud. And that's, really definitely a real departure from the previous era. If it is, let's think about how it can augment every one of us in whatever it is that we're doing. Every knowledge worker is going to be more creative, more expressive, more productive. Every frontline worker will be able to do more knowledge work than they ever were able to do because of this co-pilot being there for them. Every design task, whether it's software engineering, mechanical design, architecture, pick your design task, is going to be that much more productive going forward. So it's ultimately, in my opinion, going to accelerate human creativity, human ingenuity, and human productivity across a range of tasks. It's going to be probably a golden age of what was predominantly, if you think about the computer revolution, it created mass consumer behavior change and productivity for knowledge workers. But what if we could spread that productivity across the board much more evenly? To me, that one of the things that's probably unbelievable, amazing, great to see is India lead when it comes to digital public goods, right? I mean, there's India and then there is daylight. When it comes to the enlightened way India is building out digital infrastructure as a public good.
Mala Gaonkar's Sergocap partners started trading Tuesday with $1.8 billion under management, the largest debut of a woman-led hedge fund in the industry's history. Gaonkar was born in the US and raised mostly in Bengaluru, India. She earned an economics degree and MBA from Harvard before joining Lone Pine as a founding partner in 1998. In 2019, when Steve Mandel decided to step back from day-to-day management, he picked Gaonkar as one of the 3 portfolio managers who would oversee Lone Pine's assets, which totaled $16.7 billion as of August. She left in early 2022 to start SurgeoCap. Gaokar's focus on technology extends to philanthropy. In 2015, she co-founded the Sergio Foundation to focus on using artificial intelligence and behavioral science to solve global health problems. 5 years later, she co-founded the non-profit Sergio Ventures to further that cause by developing strategic partnerships with other groups. At SurgeoCap, she's saving $100 million of capacity for smaller endowments, foundations, and nonprofits that help underserved communities or address climate change. So far, she's gathered $35 million. Gaokar signed the Giving Pledge to commit the majority of her wealth to philanthropy. India reported the first case of Omicron's XBB.1.5 case in Gujarat on December 31st. New COVID variant makes up 40.5% of new infections across the US. Omicron subvariants XBB and XBB.1 were first identified in India. Scientists have also put forward the possibility that XBB.1.5 could have mutated in New York. Let's hear the experts.
This XXB variant tested positive in one case has been identified in passenger traveling from China. The other passengers traveling from Australia, they have been Indian couple and they were traveling here and they have also been found positive for COVID. So their genomic sequencing shall be done and the results are awaited. What I have to say here, most important point is that these variants are traveling around the globe and there they are making lot of fast spread. In some cases it has been told that 5 to 7 times, in some cases 18 times, and in the new variant XB 150 times virulence. But it does not mean it is same true for India. Reason is that our 80% and more population is vaccinated, doubly vaccinated. We have got better immunity, which is dual immunity, or we call that technically hybrid immunity. And about now, around 40% people have got booster dose. So with this background, the danger and the severity of the disease in India has to be much milder as compared to the severity in and around the world, especially in China and US.
can now watch the highlights of Pramukh Swami Maharaj Centennial celebration from Ahmedabad, Gujarat every night at 9 p.m. EST on ITV Gold. Netflix has debuted the trailer for Trial by Fire, an upcoming mini-series that traces a couple's fight for justice against massive corruption in the aftermath of the Upar cinema tragedy in 1997. 59 lives were lost and over 100 individuals were injured after the fire broke out in a prominent movie theatre in India's capital city, New Delhi. Trial by Fire is based on a book written by Neelam and Shekhar Krishnamurthy, who lost both their children in the fire. The one-time poster boy for offbeat Bollywood cinema, Abhay Deol, plays Shekhar, while Sacred Games alum Rajshri Deshpande plays Neelam. The mini-series will be available to stream on Netflix from January 13th. Watch the trailer.
पिक्चर 6 बजे तक खत्म हो जाएगी। हाँ। तो मैं लोगों को 6:30
डोंट वरी।
बाय माँ।
बाय माँ। बाय।
कुछ और सालों की बात है। Then they'll be gone.
हटो।
हटो।
मेरे दोनों बच्चे अंदर।
हमारे बच्चे।
I'm looking for my children. हमारे बच्चे अंदर फंसे रहे। अब तो अथॉरिटीज को एक्शन लेना ही पड़ेगा।
मैम आपको तो पता ही है ये सारी चीजें कैसे चलती हैं।
उपहार सिनेमा फायर में दोषियों की कमी नहीं है, लेकिन उनमें मेरे मुवक्किल बिल्कुल नहीं है।
उस आग में मेरा पूरा परिवार 7 लोग थे, मेरी पोती भी।
ये लोग सब बच के निकल जाएंगे, कोई नहीं सुनना चाहता।
तो हम सुनने पे मजबूर करेंगे।
हम हमारी बच्चों की खुशी के लिए सब कुछ करते हैं। जब वो जिंदा होते हैं तब हमारे बच्चे जिंदा नहीं है, इसलिए हमें यहाँ आना पड़ रहा है, इंसाफ के लिए लड़ना पड़ रहा है।
उन्हें लगता है वो हमारे साथ जो चाहें कर सकते हैं, और हम कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे। आम लोग हैं, पर उन्हें अंदाजा नहीं है कि जब हम एक साथ जुड़ते हैं हम एक दूसरे की ताकत बनते हैं, और ये ही उनकी गलती होगी।
सालों के बाद भी क्या है जो आपको हौसला देता है?
मैं बस इतना चाहता हूँ कि हमारे साथ जो हुआ वो किसी और के साथ ना हो।
Continuing with the news on entertainment on ITV Gold, enjoy the comedy movie Masti Express starring Johnny Lever, Divya Datta and Rajpal Yadav this Friday at 8:30 p.m. EST. Saturday 1 p.m. EST, watch Kareena Kapoor, Abhishek Bachchan and Hrithik Roshan in Main Prem Ki Diwani Hoon. Reserve is Sunday at 3 p.m. EST for Sahib Biwi or Gangster Part 3, starring Sanjay Dutt, Jimmy Shergill and Mahi Gill, directed by Tigmanshu Dhulia. And that's a wrap on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community tonight. Send us your suggestions and community news that you would like us to cover for our print and television coverage at events@itvgold.com. Follow us on our Facebook handle at ITV Gold, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and pick up a free copy of Desi Talk if you're in the Tri-State or in the Chicago area for community news, entertainment, and events in the U.S. You can also read the News India Times newspaper online at www.newsindiatimes.com or subscribe to the hard copy by calling 212-675-7515. This is Nidhi Kathuria signing off.